And we hear something, pow, 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 pow. And I was like, what the world? Everybody started running up, so I ran too.
Breaking news, a fight and a shooting inside Triangle Town Center, leaving multiple people in the hospital and workers and shoppers running for cover.
After that, we took our running. Everybody just took our running.
I'm just still traumatized by that.
WRAL Sky 5 was in the air within moments, and our crews are on the ground now with new information from the past 5 minutes. Welcome to WRAL News at 7. I am Ashley Rowe. Of course, the big breaking news story tonight, 3 people shot at Triangle Town Center. We have crews both on the scene and at the nearby hospital where those victims were taken. At this hour, we know 3 people are hurt. The search for a suspect still underway. Let's get you video now of the scene. Sky 5 flying over the mall. You can see there was a huge law enforcement response there. Officers were also searching an apartment complex nearby, again, searching for a suspect. And here's what we know right now. Police tell us this all started outside the Express store in the mall when 2 groups got into a fight. The search for a suspect is still underway. We want to share this video of what appears to show officers arresting someone outside Duke Raleigh Hospital. This was a couple hours after the shooting at the mall, but you can see somebody taken away in handcuffs. WRAL's Sean Gallagher joining us live outside the hospital. Sean, this is where the 3 shooting victims were taken, and it was you and your photographer that got the video of that arrest. What are investigators sharing about what happened there?
Well, Ashley, they tell us at this point, no one is in custody that is in connection with the shooting. But I am told that anyone that has information may be brought in to be questioned by detectives. So the search still on for who is involved here in this shooting. But this is what it looked like earlier while we were live on TV. Take a look. Raleigh police leading a young male out in handcuffs from the hospital. Again, not believed that he is the suspect in this shooting at this time, but likely being questioned by officers for being at the scene of that shooting at Triangle Town Center. Now, we're told this all happened after an argument between 2 groups of people, so that could be a lot of people that RPD has questions for. But so far, we know 3 people have been injured in this shooting. All 3 of those people, I'm told, are connected to those 2 groups that were involved in that incident. We know that at least one of those victims is a 17-year-old, and all 3 at this point have non-life-threatening injuries. Live in Raleigh, Sean Gallagher, WRAL News.
Sean, thank you for your reporting. Again, this all happening on a Friday afternoon, right? Lots of shoppers were at Triangle Town Center when this all unfolded. WRAL's Flynn Snyder is live outside the mall. Flynn, you have spoken with a whole lot of people who were there when this happened. Many of them described to you how they ran for their lives.
Yeah, traumatized, processing are some of the words that I've been hearing throughout the evening, Ashley. We're going on hour 4 of this investigation and still a very large police presence here outside Triangle Town Center. RPD's mobile command unit is also on scene. So we have the police investigation side of things, but also the bystanders, the shoppers and workers who were inside the mall when those shots rang out. Look at Sky 5 video showing those first responders rushing into the mall, paramedics also going in as well. I spoke with one worker who says that she heard 1 loud gunshot followed by at least 5 in succession after that. That's when she and her coworker looked at each other, knew they had to get somewhere safe. That's when they went to the back of their store until police came in. A short time later, you see them there rushing in to the mall there, and then they were then escorted out. Take a listen to how she describes the scene inside the mall while they were waiting for help to arrive.
All I saw was people running. I saw them running to like opposite directions and stuff like that. While me and my coworker were in the back, our other coworker, they had already reached outside, and we were kind of just like separate, if that makes sense.
And a lot of those groups who were inside spent several hours outside here in the parking lot watching the investigation unfold, just trying to process what all happened this afternoon, Ashley.
And Flynn, what are people saying about wanting to come back to the mall once the investigation is over?
Again, traumatized is the big word that I've been hearing all afternoon. That employee who I spoke to said, going back to work is going to be a struggle for her. Going back to any mall at this point is going to be a struggle for her. And several other people who I spoke with today after the shooting, they're saying that this could have been them who were shot. They're thankful it wasn't, and of course they're thinking about the people who were shot. But clearly just a chaotic and again a traumatizing experience for a lot of bystander shoppers, workers inside the mall earlier this afternoon. Ashley.
Well, certainly understandable. Flynn, thank you. We have seen at least one other incident of a shots fired call at Triangle Town Center this year. It actually happened earlier this month. On April 8th, Raleigh police responded to a shots fired call after someone in a pickup truck shot at several people in the parking lot. No one was hit. The suspected shooter then drove off, and that is where things stand with the story at this point. We asked the owners of Triangle Town Center about today's incident, the shooting where 3 people were hurt. Here's what they sent to us. We are working with the Raleigh PD to secure the crime scene and will assist law enforcement in any way possible. WRAL's Willie Danley joining us now live. Willie, you are looking into how law enforcement responded to the shooting today. You were there for the Raleigh Police Conference. We know that the search for the suspects is still underway. So walk us through what we know so far about that search and what is being said or being done about security at the mall.
Well, Ashley, this scene has been active since 3:30, and there's still a very large and very active investigation happening at Triangle Town Center right behind me. You can see those flashing lights and Raleigh police still having that mobile command unit set up. I do want to take you to some video that the WRAL breaking news tracker captured out here. According to Raleigh police, this happened near the Express store inside the mall. They say when they got there, they saw 2 people on the ground with gunshot wounds with life-threatening injuries. It was later confirmed that there was also a 3rd victim involved in this shooting. Right now, this mall is on lockdown for the time being, and there's no active threat to the public. We spoke to Lieutenant David Davis about what happened and what led up to the gunfire.
We're looking all throughout the mall, or all around the property. We have so many officers out here right now. Again, our public safety partners could not have stepped up any bigger for us today. This investigation is going to stretch out further than the mall property. You know, it might even go out past our jurisdiction, but that's why it's so important to have our public safety partners, that the Raleigh reach goes well beyond Raleigh.
And as Ashley said, this is the 2nd shooting at this mall in this month. I was actually at that first shooting a couple of weeks ago, and I can tell you that this was a much larger scene, a much bigger response by Raleigh police, and a much larger investigation. Ashley?
No doubt. Willie, we know that the mall is closed for the rest of the night. Any idea if it's going to be closed into tomorrow or after that?
Right now, that's not clear. We do know that the mall is going to be closed for the rest of the evening, but we don't know about operations tomorrow. We have spoken to some business owners out here who tell us they plan on taking the weekend and just collecting themselves after what they're calling a traumatizing experience inside that mall today.
Boy, we really are hearing that quite a bit from people. Thank you, Willie. Grace Holland is in the live center now. Grace, you heard from someone inside the mall when that shooting happened.
Yes, Ashley. This is what you're going to hear is from Coco Park. She was a shopper at a Victoria's Secret store in the mall. She had gone there to pick up an order and was in the store for just a few minutes when things started to play out. Take a listen.
We just heard a pop, and then right after that first pop, we heard about 4 to 5 other pops, and that's how I knew it was gunshots. At that time, most of the workers that were in the Victoria's Secret were teenagers, and the adults, he said, "Where's your back room?" They didn't have time to pull down the gate.
I mean, that just tells you how quickly this all developed for those store workers not to be able to pull down that gate. She went on to say that they ended up staying in a bathroom in the store because that was the only door that had a lock. And they stayed there for quite some time, waiting until police came to get them out. She said during that time they tried to call 911 and couldn't get through at one point. All of this, you know, Flynn, you asked Flynn a few minutes ago about how this is affecting their feelings about going out to shops like this. And she says for her, it's definitely going to be some time before she goes back to that mall.
Understandably. Hey, Grace, real quick, the location within the Triangle Town Center, we haven't given folks information on that just yet, but I know you've been following this so closely. Where exactly did this shooting take place?
Yeah, I have a map I can pull up for you later on in the show, but it's outside the Express Factory store is where this happened. It's very close to the food court there in the mall. If you're familiar with where the Belks is, that would be right out the front door is where that Express store is. This Victoria's Secret that Ms. Parks was in, that was on the second floor of the mall.
Okay. Appreciate that. Thank you. We have live extended coverage of this on our website right now. We have full interviews with witnesses, video from the immediate aftermath. It's all on the homepage of WRAL.com. So here we are. Pretty scary day at Triangle Town Center in Raleigh. I want to share an email we got from a viewer who was following our coverage. Linda wrote to 7 p.m. at WRAL.com. Thank you for being on top of things. Sky 5 was over Triangle Town Center within minutes. My husband works a couple miles from there, and he told me that tons of police just went screaming by his work. And when I got the text, I immediately went to your WRAL app, and you guys were already on it. Thank you for keeping us informed. We appreciate your email, Linda. That's our job, to inform. And we're glad that you and your husband got the information that you need. But is there more that we can learn from this? Something more than the who, what, when, and where. Something Lieutenant Davis said during RPD's news conference today really stuck with us.
We've got to do a better job of intervening before these things turn violent, right? Our officers are out there. They're answering more 911 calls. They're self-initiating more 911 calls. There are more traffic stops, more arrests, right? We just need to do a much better job of intervening and finding those windows where we can call 911 and get us here, before something turns violent like this.
Lieutenant Davis is getting at something bigger than this one incident. It's not just police or mall security that should step up. He's getting at the need for the community to say something when they see something isn't right. I don't think he wants us to become frequent flyers to the 911 call center, but in an era of information overload and when it seems everyone is busier than ever, his words are a good reminder to be alert, be present. And if something seems off, don't wait until it's too late to speak up. Still ahead, only a couple days left before Raleigh begins phase 1 of its water restrictions. We'll answer some of your questions about the rules. Plus, we'll roll through today's 5 things you need to know. Kat?
And what a gorgeous Friday outside. Temperatures are comfortable. We didn't quite make it to 90 degrees today. I'll have a closer look at our incoming cold front and the impacts it will bring coming up.
Well, let's get you caught up on some of today's other headlines. Here are 5 things you should know right now. A small plane made an emergency landing this afternoon at RDU. You can see the plane here in this video on the runway without the landing gear. No one was hurt. RDU's main runway is operational and flights are landing and taking off tonight. A bad car crash in the Goldsboro area this afternoon. This happening on Highway 70 East in front of the entrance to the Walnut Creek subdivision. It appears the car hit a utility pole. You can see it leaning in the picture here. We're working to confirm the severity of the injuries. A Four Oaks police officer, now the focus of a cold case murder investigation. A new search warrant says the officer is a person of interest in the death of Garner teen Josh Davis, who was found on the side of the road in 2004. The warrant also says the SBI reviewed a tip from that officer's ex-spouse about their possible ties to Davis's death. No charges are currently filed. WRAL tried to contact the officer today, but were unsuccessful. Deputies arrested a man connected to a prostitution bust at a local spa. Chow Lee faces several charges, including promoting prostitution. Lee is one of the owners of Blue Jade Spa in Pittsburgh. Sky 5 flew over the business last week while officers executed a search warrant. The police department told us it was investigating the business for illegal sexual activity and possible human trafficking. Most of Lake Crabtree County Park in Morrisville is back open today after a brush fire broke out yesterday afternoon. Park staff are closing off 2 trails. That's Old Beach Nature Trail and Lake Trail as they continue to clean up the areas impacted by the fire. It's still unclear what started the fire. Officials did say windy and dry conditions caused it to spread 2 acres. Hey, a quick reminder, phase 1 of water restrictions start on Monday in Raleigh. This applies to anyone on Raleigh City Water System, including people in Wake Forest, Garner, Rollsville, Wendell, Zebulon, and Knightdale. So here's the deal. Odd-numbered addresses can only use sprinklers on Tuesdays. Even-numbered addresses can only use sprinklers on Wednesdays. There are no restrictions on watering with a handheld hose. You can still do that whenever you want. We keep getting so many emails about the restrictions and the drought, so let's get to a few good questions. David emailed 7 p.m. at WRAL.com asking, will the local colleges continue to irrigate the artificial turf fields? David, the answer, yes. Among exceptions to the Phase 1 rules is irrigation of athletic fields. So colleges and sports teams around the area will continue to water their fields. A viewer named Katie asked about wells. She wrote, how do homes on wells factor into this water shortage? If you're on a system like Aqua, they will be in touch with you about any restrictions. If you have a private well, it's pretty much up to you. Back in 2007, the last time our area had a really bad drought, WRAL reported that people on private wells did not have any restrictions. That's still the case today, but you're encouraged, of course, to do your part by just using less water. Paul had this question. Could the city of Raleigh start shutting off my water if we get to stage 2 restrictions and beyond? Paul, the short answer is no. Let's be really clear about this. The city will not turn off water as part of these restrictions, not in Phase 1, not in Phase 2, and not in Phase 3. The city will only interrupt water service for really bad violations of the rules. The first couple of times you might get a fine, but if you keep breaking the rules or you do something crazy like you leave the sprinklers going all day long, that might get your water turned off, but just maybe. Outside of that, no one is stopping you from showering or using the sink. Lots of you asked about whether or not areas outside of Raleigh will have water restrictions. We haven't seen anything yet. Durham, Cary, and all 3 water systems in Orange County all told us that they are in the clear for now. Same goes for Apex. The drought is going to be a news story in the weeks ahead. So if there's something else that you think we should cover when it comes to the drought or the water rules, please let us know. Email 7 p.m. at WRAL.com. We truly would love to hear from you. Kat Campbell is monitoring this drought situation right across the state, but of course here at home as well. It's going to be dry. A little bit of rain, Kat, this weekend?
A little bit of rain. I mean, it is not going to be a lot at all. Temperatures today didn't quite make it to 90. We had a little bit of a break, but it was 89 at RDU and 88 at RDU and 89 in Fayetteville. A live look at the WRAL Gardens. We've got some kids running around, having a good time in the background. Here's the details on Sunday's rain. The timing would be anywhere in the window between 1 and 7 p.m. The chance of thunderstorms is pretty low with this one, so no big threats here, and just very light rainfall totals, likely less than 1/10 of an inch. We would need 7 to 11 inches of rain to end the drought. So 1/10 of an inch, I mean, it's better than nothing, but it's not going to do really any good for us. Saturday, record heat is possible. We're forecasting 93 tomorrow. The previous record is 95, set back in 1896 in Raleigh. Sunday, we do have a chance for some showers, maybe a stray rumble of thunder. Now, let's take a look at the records for our weekend. 95, the record at RDU, 93 degrees in Fayetteville. So Fayetteville has a good shot at actually beating that record. The Tar Heel 10 miler is happening tomorrow. If you're headed out to the event, it's going to be hot. Make sure you drink plenty of water and stay hydrated. 62 degrees at 7 a.m. is going to feel great, though. By 9 a.m., 71 and 76 at 10 a.m. You'll feel hot in the sun, but not bad in the morning in the shade. Here's a closer look at Futurecast for Sunday. We're likely to be dry in the morning. Once we get to lunchtime, rain chances mainly to our west, and then during the afternoon we start to see some of those showers move in, maybe an isolated rumble of thunder, and then moving on ahead to 6 o'clock, the bulk of the rain starts to clear out of our eastern counties. We are drying out for Sunday night in the area, but then comes the cooler air that's on the way. A heads up for the North Carolina coast. If you're traveling east on Sunday, you could run into some showers and storms on your way home as well, especially if you're traveling toward the northern beaches or the Outer Banks. Our southern beaches have a 40% storm chance on Sunday, and our northern beaches have a 70% chance. I do think that at the coast there will be a better chance for storms, actual thunder and lightning, compared to what we have, and even the beaches are going to be cooling down on Monday along with us. Live look at Rocky Mount Mills. It's a nice evening out there. We're going to the Bulls game tonight. It has already started. You're running a little behind, but temperatures are very comfortable. Don't forget there's another Bulls game tomorrow, so go on out to tomorrow or Sunday's games. Once we make it past Sunday, check out the lows. We drop down into the mid-40s by Monday morning, 42 Tuesday morning, highs only in the upper 60s Monday, low 70s Tuesday. Tuesday looks like an amazing day. Once we get to the middle and end of next week, high temperatures jump right back into the mid to upper 80s. Ashley.
All right, we will enjoy those 70s while we can. Thank you, Kat. After the break, one last check-in on the shooting at Triangle Town Center. We get an update from the Live Center next. All right, before we go, let's quickly check back in with Grace in the WRAL Live Center. Grace, the search for a suspect still ongoing.
Ashley, at this point, Raleigh police say they do not have a suspect in custody. They are questioning people who may have some information about that. Earlier in the show, you asked me about where in the mall this all happened. So I wanted to show our viewers, for people who are maybe still playing catch up here. So this is the first floor of Triangle Town Center. You see the Belks here. So it was right outside this Express factory outlet in this part of the mall that this played out. Over here, this is the food court. We know that it sort of all transpired in this area, and this is the entrance to the mall that most people, police that we've seen, that we've been showing from Sky 5, that they've been coming through. So hopefully, you know, that gives you a better idea of exactly how this played out. And of course, there are 2 stories to the mall, so it was people spread out over a lot of area inside that had to shelter in place.
Yeah, that really does help give us a good vantage point and understanding of where this all played out. Thank you, Grace. And we are expecting more information coming from Raleigh Police later on this evening within the next hour and a half or so. So do stay with us here on WRAL. Appreciate you being with us here on your Friday, sharing part of your Friday with us here at 7 o'clock. Have a great weekend.